Yoage. It's Deist from Chaos Hammer. Let's do a recap, shall we? Let's do a recap. So Chaos Hammer just had our first CWL war against CroLegion. Just go ahead and ignore those red lines in our war log. Those are a fluke. So had our first match in CWL. Rising. I think we're in Rising. I don't know. Against CroLegion, came out on top. Our nines performed extremely well. Our tens performed very well. Our 11s, as usual, did really well as well. So, all in all, good war. Um, our our nines bases held up surprisingly well. We recently faced. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do a name drop. We recently faced the Swarm in a random spin, and we learned quite a lot about Town Hall 9 base building from them. They employed some certain tactics in their base building that I thought were just brilliant, and so I kind of put together some tips for our clan to use, and a lot of our guys took it and ran with it and have built some really good bases. So our nines held really well. We actually forced several dips on our nines, and our tens held pretty well. I don't think they had any. I don't think CroLegion had any 10v10 triples. No, they didn't. We had three 10v10 triples, and then we did pretty well in the 11s. Actually, CroLegion got great percentage on our 11s. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into some attacks here. First thing I wanted to show was Aussie Chaos. Well, here, you know what? I feel like I need to mention. I feel like I need to mention some six packs. There were some pretty awesome six packs this war. We had Aussie with a six pack. We had Kim Forrest with a fresh sixer. We had Summer with a six pack. We had Fahheem with our first ever CWL fresh sixer. Actually, he was our first sixer in the CWL period. We had Deist with a fresh sixer. That's my Town Hall 9 for those of you who are keeping track. Only missed one dip from our 11s. But anyways, let's go ahead and watch Aussie's attack here. This was just awesome. I'm not. I kind of liked these long, gimmicky bases for a while, but I'm not a fan anymore. And I just dig it that our guys are finding ways to beat these bases, because I don't like them anymore. So he goes ahead and does the Skellies and Rage for the King, Queen, and enemy CC, and actually almost gets a couple of other defenses, but not quite. Puts some wizards down at 12 and 9 for some funneling or just some trash cleanup, whatever. King and a couple of wizards at 6, Queen at 3. So Queen's gonna move in here and take this AD, or well, she's gonna help at least. And then it's gonna be just a big old, kind of like almost a spam Laloon. Queen pops ability and pops that AD. That's good. And then he's got several spells to get him through the rest of the base. So his Laloon deployment's really good. He's moving through just a chunk, just a pile of balloons. Hastes into a heal in the core with his 4 Teslas. And at this point, it's already over. There's too many loons left. There's too many balloons left. There's no way. So, I mean, he basically, I don't even know if he lost a single balloon there. Just really beat the base pretty bad. Queen's still doing cleanup. I mean, yeah, just a hell of a raid, man. Good raid by Oz. Let's look. I actually didn't. There's so many attacks I wanted to look at this war, but let's just do this. I think from now on, I'd like to only burn enemy bases on fresh triples, because those bases should be replaced anyway. You know what I mean? I'm starting to kind of change my tune on burning bases. I really don't like to burn bases anymore. So let's do this. Let's just look at the list from our guys and see who had fresh hit triples. I want to look at some guys we don't usually see. Let's look at Shadow Warrior on number 16. Let's do that. Oh, okay, yeah, I like this one. So Golem from, what is this, 6 o'clock. Getting a bit of a funnel going. Golem from 5 o'clock. He's going to break into this compartment here, and it's going to be a shattered Bolalo. Funnel's already pretty much done. He can set his troops nice and close to the base, so he doesn't have to worry about anything walking. CC's already coming out, spilling out. Queen's going to go inside. After just her pathing was looking bad for a second, but the CC's going to pull her inside. So he gets the 2 ADs, getting a little bit of this stuff out of the core, making decent pathing for his balloons, and then he's going to come in with his Lalo from 9 here. He's taking out the enemy heroes. He's going to get, I think, 1 or 2 more wizard towers, and then this Expo. So I'm pretty sure he was assuming he could get 3 ADs, but he only got 2, and it was really no big deal. It really didn't matter. Air Scallies and a couple of Teslas pop, 3 Teslas pop, 4 Teslas pop. So that's, you know, making it hard on his loons right now, but they're still powering through pretty good. He doesn't have a whole lot left. He kind of collapsed in on the center of the top of the base pretty quick. Hound's still out in front, going to tank the Expo, and the Wizard Tower. That's good. And then he drops a heal, finds more Air Skellies, and then just closes in on the last couple of defenses. Oh, this cannon down here at 7:30 is actually still up. That's funny. So Queen actually went back outside and started doing cleanup, so that's great. Still has a couple of balloons left. Deploys those for cleanup. And that's a 3-star raid. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a 3-star raid. All right, now let's go back to our list. Let's find out who else deserves some spotlight here. Kim Forrest had a fresh 6er. I think maybe we should look at one of... Oh, you know what? No, Summer. We never watched Summer. Let's look at number 26 by Summer. Let's do that. Oh, okay, so it's a spam Laloon. That's good. All right, so he gets a quick CC lure. I think he took down a mortar there. Poison for the enemy queen and king, and it also covers the CC. So that was really good. That was really good planning right there. Mega value for a single poison spell. A couple of Valks come out way late. Queen's gonna get them here in a second. Pops her, kills the enemy queen, kills those 2 Valks, and let's get on to the Laloon portion. So Hound in from 3. Just start pouring some loons on the outside of the base. Gonna have plenty of spells to get through this thing. Coming into the sweepers, which I thought was an interesting choice, but like I said, he's got 5 hastes, so you know, no big deal really. Deploys tries to have everything meet up in this little area by deploying up top too with a haste. His loons are getting picked off here, which is unfortunate, but he's got a heal. It's perfect spot for a heal right there in the center of the base. Personally, I prefer to spread my wizard towers out, just for that exact reason. But has that last Hound tanking, deploys these last 2 loons perfectly to take out the AD while it's tanked. Hound pops at the exact right second, and he's got plenty of loons to get to this Archer Tower and finish it up. So yeah, once again, really good raid. No reason to overcomplicate things when the base gives you perfect places to use spells. Like that right there in the center of that heal spell. I mean, you know, that just screams Laloon. So, okay, so let's do this. Let's watch. Fahheem had a 10v10 triple. Let's check that out. This was a good hit. I'm trying to zoom out. I can't zoom out any further. Bowler for a free mortar. Bowler for a free mortar. That's just smart gameplay. Valk for a funnel. King up top. And then he's going to beat his way left a little bit. And then what he's going to do is Fahheem is going to drop his queen. Oh, did that bowler get a second mortar down at 8 o'clock? No kidding. That's sweet. So what he's going to do is break his queen in here. Queen's going to hit this AD, and then she's going to move to this wizard tower, and then she's going to get this inferno tower. And then he actually pops his queen, and she gets inferno tower, Tesla, archer tower. So he just gets mega value for this hero swap. Starts off with a few kind of like suicide loons in there to take out a couple of key defenses, or at least one key defense. And then here comes his law loon from 1 to 2 o'clock. Haste down, have everything meet up over the queen. He's got a couple of skellies, so drop the rage, get those skellies down. They're going to take out the queen, no sweat. And then the rest of it's kind of just about keeping your loons pushing forward in kind of a wall formation, and then having them get on top of this inferno tower, which he does pretty quickly. Rages this backside, which is pretty concentrated in defenses. The whole base is pretty compact, so he got really good value out of his spells. And then he has Woodlast Heal to get him up through these last 4 or 5 defenses. His deployment was on point, keeping everything moving 2-2-2-2-2 around the base. That was really good. Yeah. Smashed it pretty good. Pretty good. Plenty of stuff for cleanup. Hound pops. Good luck. You gotta love it when that last hound pops at the end of your raid. And the town hall. That was probably really close to being a 99% 1-star, aka a heartbreaker, aka a broken iPad. Let's watch one of these hits by Stu was really good. I think this I mean, it was a good hit obviously, but it was really close at the end. I think this is the one that was actually oh yeah, Stu had a 10v10 6-pack. I don't know if I mentioned that. I think this is the one that was pretty decisive 3-star. Yeah, it's CB Lalo from 12 o'clock. So Golem, really quick funnel. Wall breakers, don't have a wall breaker fail. That's good. So he's going to get his king down, going to get his queen down, get a few bowlers. No bowlers? Maybe no bowlers, that's right. This was an old school CB Lalo. Gets on the enemy queen, here comes the CC. This was like you couldn't ask for a better base for a CB Lalo. As soon as he saw this, well, actually several of our guys, as soon as they saw this base, they were like cold-blooded Lalo from 12. So does a quick little wall of loons from 1 to 3. The pathing's pretty good. He's going against the sweeper for the first little bit, but no big deal. The pathing's pretty good. He's going to get great value out of his spells down here at the southern part of the base. I really like the way he used these spells. This heal rage and then 5 hastes keeps everything moving in kind of like a wall. Like I said last raid, you're better off having a wall of balloons than just a single clump of balloons. It's much better. So I mean, he just he moved his way through the base really quick. Good deployment, good spell use. And yeah, that's GG. Really good raid. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Alright, now the last thing I want to look at is this. I want to look at this. Obviously, some of our 11s did really cool stuff, but personally, I don't believe in burning bases on dips. Some people disagree. They say, yeah, well, 11v10 isn't a free 3-star. It's certainly not easy. And I'm like, yeah, but if I build a custom base and a 10 can't 3-star it and 11 3-stars it and it gets burned, I'll be pretty upset. So I'm just going to go ahead and not do that to enemy clans. Okay, so Harris, Budro and I were planning this. We're planning this base, and I thought, well, dude, why not do a queen walk from 12 to 9, jump, and queen snipes the town hall. The only thing that goes inside the base is the queen. So that's what we did. That's what Budro did. It's a really good raid. So the first thing he does is drops his queen. Let's zoom in just a little bit here. Loon for the air trap, which we actually had. We had a Town Hall 9 scout for this base, which was awesome. And then he decides to use 5 miners to go to take out this this elixir storage at 12:05 to cut off his queen's pathing and make sure she goes south. And then Budro, well, everybody was kind of assuming that we couldn't snipe this eagle, and I was like, dude, if you walk from 12 to 9, you can absolutely snipe that eagle from the outside. And I mean, I personally would never put my eagle that close to the outside, but so that's what we ended up doing. Budro ended up doing a queen walk here. Gets the eagle. Maybe a touch early on these 9 o'clock troops, but oh well. So the queen's gonna move down here, and he's cutting off a funnel for her so that she can jump inside. She's taking the jump spell right here. And then he has a second golem for 7 o'clock with a bunch of Valks and his king, and they're just their entire goal is to get percentage. The funnel for his queen's already made. She's already definitely going inside, and at this point, he still has 2 rages. So he's going to go ahead and rage the queen right here, and then he's going to rage the troops down south as well. So just so they can get even more percentage. It was a perfect plan for this base, just perfect. Doesn't even need to pop his queen. And then the cool thing is Budro decided on this particular timing because he wanted his troops to move down here from 7 down to 5 and distract the hound so that his queen could snipe the town hall safely. I thought that was brilliant. So it was just a really good plan for the base. When we were planning that raid, we decided on the queen walk and decided on the 9 o'clock funneling. And then Budro was like, well, dude, I still have like 76 troop space left. And I was like, well, then I guess throw in some Valks for some percentage, because this is definitely going down. So, yeah, that was good stuff. We had a really good war. A lot of the strengths we've been showing over the past few weeks really came through in this war. All of our guys were on voice chat planning. Even the guys who have trouble communicating, as English is not their first language. Everybody was on voice chat. It was awesome. Really good war. So I can't wait to see what we do in week 2. Right now we have our MLCW playoff match against Predom. And that's a recap. See you guys next time.